Welcome back to the National Hurricane Center. This is Ken Graham live right here in our operations area in Miami, Florida. We got two storms we're dealing with. We got Andy on one side of me doing one storm, and we got Dan over here looking at Tropical Storm Laura. So Dan, I just wanted to ask, the models have, there's been a lot of questions about, the models have been back and forth a little bit. It's been a difficult forecast for both of them. Can you comment on that at all?
It has, Ken, and yesterday there was a big shift in the track guidance, especially for Marco. But now that we're getting closer in time, hopefully that track is starting to stabilize. We still have a long way to go with Laura, so there still could be some wiggles in that track over the next few days, especially right now while it's moving over land, because that center could reform even more over the next couple of days, like it did over the last couple of days. So still got a ways to go tracking Laura.
What role do the hurricane hunters play in helping out the models?
Oh, it's been fantastic. Right now, this morning, we actually have flights in and around both storms. We had a G4 mission flying that synoptic surveillance overnight, helping put information into models. Right now, you can see that it's just flown through the center of Marco. I got to remember the names here, but they're also flying around the south side of Laura this morning, even while it's over land. Again, they've been doing incredible work the last few days. Repositioning planes from St. Croix, where it was threatened, up to near Fort Lauderdale, and also over toward Biloxi to Charleston, where they're also having to move things in case Marco becomes a threat to their base in Tucson.
Wow, just a lot of challenges here. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate that. Dennis, we're going to back up over here to the media desk and try to look at the latest information. Starting off with the satellite here, as Dan mentioned, we got two different things going on here. We got Tropical Storm Marco right here. So that's what we're looking at in the Gulf of Mexico. Forecast to become a hurricane. It's very close right now at 70 miles an hour, and we continue to want to see this, start producing more of that convection. That's what we're going to see with time, and that's going to cause some of the heavy rainfall and the storm surge with time. But also, we're keeping an eye on Tropical Storm Laura, producing dangerous rainfall, just a dangerous rainfall. This is Hispaniola. You start looking at Dominican Republic and Haiti, just torrential rainfall, dangerous landslides and flooding associated with Laura. So let's divide this up, and let's start off with Marco. Like we were saying, a compact storm, but still you see some of those impacts outside the cone. You see the tropical storm force winds, you see some of the rainfall, and we do predict to become a hurricane, Marco to become a hurricane today. And let's look at the timing. 1 a.m. on Monday, approaching the coast of Louisiana, and then Monday afternoon right off the coast of pretty close to the mouth of the Mississippi River, where we have this hurricane warning up. So at that point, been weakening to a tropical storm with time, but that really doesn't matter, because the situation is all that moisture is going to produce that rainfall, that storm surge, and those rain bands, not just in Louisiana. You can see some of those rain bands stretch from the Mississippi coast, even over to Alabama with time. Let's look at the winds associated with Marco. Probably by tomorrow morning, the arrival of the tropical storm force winds right here, arriving in Plaquemines Parish, the mouth of the Mississippi River, over towards Lafourche Parish, even up to St. Bernard Parish with time. So tomorrow morning, Monday morning, starting to see some of these winds. You got to wrap up that preparedness today associated with Marco. Storm surge is what historically the leading cause of fatalities, and that's why we have, looking at the storm surge values here, anywhere from Morgan City, this location, we stretch around here, Jefferson Parish, Lafourche, Plaquemines Parish, the mouth of the river, St. Bernard Parish, all the way to Ocean Springs. Any one of these areas could get 4 to 6 feet. Why? Well, the center is expected to be in this location, so you get that onshore flow, and where you see areas where the water gets trapped around Lake Bourne, even up to the Mississippi coast, that's where the water can pile up, and it goes through the Rigolets into Lake Pontchartrain and Maurepas, where we could see 2 to 4 foot of storm surge. And the rainfall as well, a slight risk of some flash flooding in areas along the Alabama coast, including the Mobile metropolitan area, Mississippi coast, southern Mississippi, all throughout southeast Louisiana, could get some of those flooding rains. So that's what we're looking at associated with that, and just a little more detail with the storm surge before we move to Laura. You can see it where the onshore flow around St. Bernard Parish, the east side of, looking at Plaquemines Parish, where the water piles up, also around the Pearl River where some of that water piles up as well. So something you got to look at, listen to those local officials, and if they're telling you to get out of those low-lying spots, it's definitely really important to be listening to them. So we're going to go into the media room here from operations, and we'll start looking at Laura, another situation that we have here. You can see the storm on satellite, just larger. It's just much larger than Marco. and at the same time, you see some of that convection producing that heavy, heavy rainfall for folks. Important point. We've got to make an important point, Dennis, because if you look at Laura right now, we're over Dominican Republic. We talk about that rain. You still have Haiti. We still get over Cuba. That's a lot of land. Smaller storms are more influenced by the land than the larger storms. Laura's much larger, so in fact, need less influence outside of keeping the intensity down, but still we plan on looking at the Laura getting out to the Gulf of Mexico, surviving with the center, and then becoming a hurricane. So, small changes early on, very small changes early on, and there can be, when you're interacting with land, the cone becomes very important. So we get the cone from southeast Louisiana, and that means the impacts could slide back and forth. So what I'm trying to say is small change early, big change with time. So the wind's arriving in the middle of the week, so we're going to keep an eye on Marco and also Laura from here at the Hurricane Center, getting ready for preparedness. And you go on the upper Texas coast, all the way over to Alabama, to see some of these rain bands and to see some of this heavy rain and storm surge. Preparedness is everything. So this has been the latest updates on 2 different storms from the National Hurricane Center here in Miami, Florida.